We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have a few additions to the agenda. Linda, the food trucks, you want to discuss that tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Could we also add Friends of Vernon Cemeteries? We do have fence, the Tyler Cemetery fence repairs, but we'd like to add a list just to give the select board an update.
I didn't catch that.
Friends of Vernon Cemetery. Is Seth going to be here for the quarterly report?
Seth is here right now. I know.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah. Would you like me to go now, or is that you just checking me off?
I'm just putting you on this.
Ah.
Checking attendance.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. The only remarks I have is that First Light called and they're going to be drawing the Connecticut River way down. Way down, July 7th or 8th, because there's a gate at Turner's Falls Dam that is damaged and they can't send divers down to work on it because of the danger, so they have to pull the water down to work on it. So open public comment for items not on the agenda. Please limit to 3 minutes. No one seems to be well-minded tonight. Seeing none, it's a time for approval of minutes. Okay,
Under employee appreciation, it should be 1 recusal, because that's different than abstention. Yes. Please.
okay, do we have a motion? Yes, Jim.
I move that we accept the minutes of the regular select board meeting Tuesday, June 17th as corrected.
Do we have a
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Warrant.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I move that we approve payment of the following warrant. 25T accounts payable, $14,323.62. 1T accounts payable, $136,663.95. 24S payroll, $10,311.17. And 25S payroll, $19,873.58.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seth, why don't we take you right now?
All right. Which direction would you like me to go first? I have a quarterly report and a request for some monies from the emergency repair fund.
Why don't you start with quarterly and then we see how good you're doing?
Oh, no pressure. All right, sit right here. Is there a place I should, wherever I am? All right, I guess I'll stand up so you guys can at least see me and try to find some spot where I can see everybody. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, maybe. Baseball, softball season just wrapped up. We had a total of 70 kids participate, all run by volunteer coaches, which is pretty awesome. This year was particularly challenging with the weather, that we had cancellation after reschedule. And to the coaches' credit, they took the lead on a lot of that stuff and were able to really make a season really successful, even though they had to deal with a lot of adversity in that respect. The school year wrapped up, so that also means the after school program wrapped up. We had 43 kids participate this year, which is a good, healthy number. Again, good staff that is very reliable for us there. In front of probably 150 or so friends and family, we had 13 preschool kids graduate recently. It's pretty cool seeing they all get their caps and gowns and I guess sachets and caps, and they walk down the aisle. It's pretty awesome. The staff did a really nice job organizing a great event that evening. The community market will be happening twice this year. Once has already taken place. The first was held June 19th. The second will be September 13th. Again, a really great group of volunteers that are really invested into making that happen. Thankfully, we got a nice weather day, which has been a challenge with this event for several years, but the weather held out and we had a really nice evening. The pool opened on June 18th, the last day that the day that the kids get out of school. Returning, most all staff is returning. We have 2 new staff members, which is kind of what we generally have at most around that. So really good, strong staff returning. Given the warm weather, we've been really busy out of the gate. We've sold 120 passes so far. 93 of those are resident, 23 non-resident, and 4 what we call group passes. So those are different camps and whatnot that will buy a pass for the pool, and there's a different price point for each of those. Day camp runs 9 weeks. We take up to 30 campers a week. There was 1 spot available this week. Every other week is full with a waiting list. That's good. I wish we could accommodate more, but it gets too big sometimes, and it's better to just kind of keep it at that small community feel, and 30 is that number where we feel like that works for us. We are really happy to have swim lessons coming back. This is something that's been a struggle for several years. Being able to find certified staff was something that we just couldn't make happen. And thanks to Logan Snow, she went and got WSI certified, and she's really been working with us to be the driving force to make this program happen. So we'll be running swim lessons this year. It'll be a 4-week program, Monday through Thursday mornings, half hour each morning. We have, I think, 39 kids or something like that, close to 40 kids that are registered. We ran it for only Vernon residents this year. We felt like that was the appropriate way to go to get, kind of get our feet underneath us, and we'll go from there. We'll evaluate after and see if it's something we want to continue at that level or however we want to do it. But it'll be good because we do have some other staff that are working with them and receiving training so that they can be participants and help us out in this. So pretty happy that program is back and excited for it. Summer programming registration is open. Right now we have 24 kids for archery, which is we about capped at that. 7 for tennis lessons, 17 for sports camp, 19 for our annual pool party. That number will jump up to probably 40 by the time we get towards the end of the summer. So in a pretty good spot there. We do have some maintenance projects that we're going to be doing this summer, painting the shelter, clearing the trails at the town forest like we do every summer. The tennis courts need a light power washing to clean those up. There's some ash trees that are need to be taken down, and a couple other things that'll come up throughout the summer, but those are kind of where we're at. So I guess that kind of gives the quarterly report.
Yeah.
Any questions, thoughts, comments? No? Okay.
Okay, continue.
Move on to my request.
You did well.
All right. The pool is open, thankfully, with help from a company called Applied Dynamics out of Greenfield, pump and motor company that we've relied on several times. Ian and I open and close the pool. We've been doing that for years. This year when we went to open the pool, the shaft on the motor was seized, which it happens. The last couple of years it had gotten a little bit harder, and we were able to manually turn it and then kick it on and it would work. This year that did not happen. We were able to manually turn it, but it would not kick on. It would trip the motor out every time. Thankfully we have a backup motor that we keep on site for lightning, for this, so we're not out an extended period of time. Applied came in and they replaced that, installed that motor for us. My question to them was, how do we prevent this from happening again? And the thought was, the environment that the motors are in are really challenging. It's in a wet, hot environment that there's not a great deal you can do. This motor is 10 or 12 years old, the one that was in there, and given the environment, that's probably where we're going to be at moving forward. They did suggest that we have what they call heaters installed on the motor, and basically that's a heating mechanism that is wrapped inside the coils. The housing comes off, heaters are put around the coils, and that helps to dry it out, the motor out. Other than that, they felt like there wasn't a great deal that could be done given the environment, but that would potentially be helpful. And those heaters, they're not at a tremendous cost. I mean, they're not free, they're not giving them away, but they're not at a tremendous cost. So I guess what I'm here to request is we have a bill of $1,800 and, well, I have it right here, that we have already processed. That was for the removal of the motor that was no good and the install of what was our backup motor. That was $1,876.53. I am also, so I'm requesting use of the emergency repairs fund to pay that bill. We've processed it through the fiscal budget, but we'd like to go back and reimburse that if we could. I'm requesting $2,724.58 to purchase what would be a new motor, so that we would have another one on site. That one will come in with heaters installed. The plan would be to have that motor installed in the fall, so that the motor that's in there will have heaters. It'll be the one we want. However, that would come at an additional roughly $1,800 to have the new one installed. So I'm requesting a total of $6,977.64, or roughly $7,000 from the emergency repair fund. The motor that's in there now would then come out and become our backup, which we could potentially have heaters installed in that. But the one that's showing up will already have heaters already to go on it. So it's doesn't hit the 10,000 mark, which is the emergency capital reserve fund. It falls under the 10K mark, so the request would have to go to the emergency repair fund.
Or,
I have a question.
sir,
The replacement motor that you put in, according to what these guys said, the mean time to fail is something like 12 years.
And it roughly, yeah. I mean, that's what the last one was, yeah.
So you're taking it out in the fall because you want to put a motor in there with a heater element in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that'll extend the life of it?
It was recommended that would be the best course of action to hopefully extend its life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Shelley, do you have questions?
No.
Brandon?
What's the difference between the cost of the motor with a heater and without?
It's a good question. Honestly, I didn't ask that price, or I never asked that question, Brandon.
Okay.
Just because that was kind of the focus all the time that we wanted one without. I don't believe it's going to be significant. I mean, it's $2,700 for a 20-horse motor with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's a couple $100.
Okay.
At most, $300-400, I would think. We will have to have the heaters wired in, so, which maybe $500 for that. That's an estimate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jean?
I'm trying to figure out where we're talking about for this money to come from.
Okay.
Is it under general expenses, the maintenance and repair?
I think it's a separate fund, it's an article.
Oh, okay.
Don't we have one? It's larger. Maybe over 5,000. Or is it over 10?
What's currently in it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We have a few different funds.
Okay.
I do remember putting money into, yeah. So we put in 10,000.
And we're starting fresh, so.
But it's a fund, so there's probably more than that in there, so. Okay. Got it.
So board, what is your pleasure? He's presented a problem.
You're saying there's at least 10K in there, Jim? Or at least
We put in 10 last town meeting. So we know there's that, I don't know. We don't get fund balances on that budget somewhere to do.
Yeah, I just need the budgets, but I don't have the summary on the funds.
But it should be, that money was for July 1st, so I should still be there. 1 year is July 1st and whoop,
Wow.
it's going.
I got it right in time.
Good timing.
Yeah, sorry.
There's
I
probably
would prefer not to have to be here to request it, trust me. But as much as I love you all, I'd prefer not to have this challenge.
Is that the emergency repair fund? Is that the name of that fund?
Yes, it is. Emergency Repair Replacement Fund.
Sir,
Do we need that whole package?
you can just say the emergency repair fund.
Yeah, but the breakdown of it, I got
No,
it.
Shelley has it.
Okay, you got the breakdown? So I'd like to make a motion that we use the emergency repair fund to expend $6,970.64. Did I get that right?
I had 6,977.64.
77.64.
Yeah,
So how about some?
about 7,000. Hopefully less, but that would be the max.
What's 600 among friends?
No, it's only, like $30.
30.
I'd like to amend that to be $7,000 to repair the motors for the pool.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It carries. Good.
Thank you guys, appreciate it very much. We'll get that ordered. It's about a week out in terms of getting them, from the time I order that motor, that it can be in, they said about a week, so that's.
That's really good to have.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Northwoods Connection Wildlife Corridor Assessment Contract. Shelley?
Okay. So we have Daniel Doody here.
Here.
In case anyone has any questions to the contract, he gave a presentation from last meeting. And I did have a conversation with Katie Buckley regarding using ARPA funds to be expended up until and after December. And as long as we have a contract in place, she said it should be fine.
What is your pleasure, board?
I have one for who's Judy.
Okay.
The actual mapping, are you gonna use the people at Windham Regional to do that?
Yeah, I'll be working with the Windham Regional, yeah.
I
so-
talked with them today, like 90% of them are on vacation right now. But I understand there's a possibility that they have funding for that. So we,
Yes,
if
that-
this goes through, we want to get a hold of them immediately to see if we can't take advantage of that. They got a relatively good mapper over there. for
Yeah,
the
Jeff
town.
Nugent.
Exactly.
He made your map there behind you on the wall.
Yeah.
And I know Jeff pretty well.
Good.
Did you talk to Margot?
Margot's on vacation.
Yeah,
I
she
sent her an email. I talked to Alyssa.
Okay.
I actually had her on vacation
Oh.
on Zoom meeting.
Great.
You come highly recommended, by the way.
Oh, well, appreciate that.
Any other questions, board? Do we have a motion? Yes, Georgia.
Shelley mentioned that there's acrimony. Is that gonna cover the whole contract?
Yes.
It actually was already designated for
It
this.
was already allocated.
It's already
Yeah,
allocated.
last December.
Jim?
I'll take this, okay, go ahead.
I don't know quite how to phrase it because
Oh.
of the way we're expending the money. I know we're gonna have it all done before the end of the calendar year, which is you have to have for the FERC,
For
ARPA, funding, and,
The
but I
motion,
don't know quite how to phrase that.
we just say, approve and sign the contract as presented.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve and sign the contract as written.
with Northwood Connections
Mhm.
Oh, Northwood Connections, Ecological Consulting and Surveying and Planning.
for wildlife corridor mapping. Would that be appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay. As amended.
Do we have a second?
I'm sorry.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Interesting to see this.
Yeah, excited.
Conservation Commission appointment.
Madam Chair, I'd like to present Catherine Lauer, who is our candidate to be the next commissioner on our commission, the Vernon Conservation Commission.
And that will bring your number to what?
6.
Does anybody have questions for Catherine? Does she know how much she's gonna get stuck working? Yeah, lady?
A lot.
I'll entertain a motion to,
Was that in accordance with the new policy for appointments?
well, good point. A letter of intent?
We have a letter.
We have a letter.
Discussion.
Good point. Thank you. And we do have a letter of intent. So do we have a motion?
Sure.
Sure.
Madam Chair, I move that we appoint Catherine Lauer to the Conservation Commission. Sorry.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much and welcome.
So she will get all of the statutes and all of that information. We'll be giving that to her, okay, and the ethics training, okay.
If the technique's not completed, it's a monetary fine.
Okay, Windham County Sheriff's Department.
Okay, this is a annual contract. The amount that was voted on in March.
Do we have anybody in the waiting room right now?
No.
Okay. I would see the sheriff's up there,
Listen, I don't hear.
because I got some questions here.
What are your questions?
On scope of services, F, there's a statement in there that says the town agrees to compensate the office for activities included but not limited to court hearings, depositions, and other legal processes for activities performed pursuant to this contract. It sounds like that's money that we would have to put aside above what we're already paying for the service. At least that's the way it reads.
That's always been there, that's always
Same
been the
contract.
understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if the way I read this, if the officer has to go to court or, then we have to pay over and above the contract. I just,
Yeah, because, I mean, in my mind, if you were using the contracted time, then you had no officer in town during that time.
mhm. Okay? For those of you that have the document in, under compensation, item B, it's got a number 135,200. It's actually 135,199,092. And the item C, and this is nitpicking, I know, but it has it listed without a comma in there. It just looks tacky for a document like that. It should be $11,266.66.
So do you want the 135,200 change for 8 cents?
What? Well, I mean, it's just,
Foster the state?
no, all right, I'm nitpicking, I'm sorry.
No,
It
it's,
just hurts me when numbers aren't,
I
Well,
don't,
we probably voted the rounded up number anyways, so.
do you have this on your computer by any chance or no?
I can look and see if it's a PDF or it's a Word doc. I can go in and make those grammatical changes.
It would look better.
Yeah, we can do that.
so I was reading along and I wondered how the board, I'm gone to personnel hours provided, item B. And I was reading along and I was wondering how the board and how the people in town felt about having 40 hours of service. I know we voted on that, we've seen it for quite a while now. Does that seem to be meeting our needs? And I thought that was a worthy question to bring up at select board. You know, I've had people that said, oh, we don't have them around enough. They're not on the weekends or after 6 o'clock at night. And I've had other people say, oh, they're there all the time. And I can't drive down Pond Road without worrying about getting a ticket. So there's a variety of inputs on that. I just wondered whether or not you guys had bumped into anything like that or not.
We can't change the hours, that's done at town meeting.
Yep.
Because that's the money that is voted by the town.
Right?
I see them all different hours, weekends, evenings, all over the place.
Yeah. Don't take this like I'm complaining. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'm getting telephone calls.
Well, you know, everybody expects them to be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
You know, if we had a crystal ball and knew where something was gonna happen and put them there, it'd be a perfect world, but it just doesn't happen that way.
There used to be a presentation every town meeting with some options
Right.
that was separate from just being included in the whole thing, the whole budget, and that was voted on. Right? I'm remembering that correctly? If people have a lot of concerns about it, it might not hurt to bring that option back. That the sheriff presents a couple options, 2 or 3, I think is all they did.
Yeah, the number of hours.
Yeah.
And what it
Number of
costs.
hours and cost.
Essentially food for thought. Right, and item C in the same area, it says authorized individuals / in their position.
Yeah.
These are people that will interface with the police people. And it's all blank, it's just, there's the number of positions there. Do we fill that in? Is
Yes, we do, whatever the board decides. It's usually the town administrator and select board, and anybody else that we see fit.
okay, so do we have to fill that in before we sign the contract?
I would go in.
So can I volunteer Brandon for that, or?
Sure.
It's the select board as a whole, I think, Joe.
Unless you are
You're now included.
individually, so then there's 5 spots.
That's a nice try, Jim. But the select board is all it should be.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's about it. That covers it, doesn't it?
Shelley and the 5 of us.
Okay.
Any other questions?
In item 6, reporting and documentation, item number B, the town will designate in writing one of the select board members or administrative officers to be a liaison with the office.
That's administrative.
That's usually shown.
Excellent.
Yes. What was the name?
Another job.
She does it well.
I've been doing it for a while now.
And that's all I came up with.
Shall we? Jean?
What's that?
Okay. Need a motion. Or do
What,
you-
what did I do?
Do you want to wait until Shelley gets it typed up? Or do you want to act on it tonight?
I can do that.
Okay.
Oh, it has to be one signature. Yeah, see it typed up, there's only one signature on it, so. Next time then.
Yeah.
Cemetery committee member, letters of interest. Shelley?
So we have, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 letters of interest. Would you like me to read off names?
Yes, please, I'm sorry.
Okay. So I have Melissa Allen, Rita Mudd, Joyce Goodnow, Georgia Boyce, and Sandra Harris. All interested
Sandra Harris.
as a liaison. Interested in participating.
So not on the committee then, or yes on
No,
No, just liaison.
yeah.
You're saying liaison looking forward.
Mhm.
Good.
All right, do we need to recommend each one of these separately?
Mhm.
Like
This
that.
one is,
Who do you wish to do?
I know in the past we've made motions.
for each one.
We've done both.
Both ways. Don't both ways.
Oh.
So we put them in the slot channel.
Check call.
Okay. Means that I got my voice recently fixed.
Let's use it.
I'd like to nominate, yeah,
For a point.
appoint Melissa Allen, Rita Mudd, thank you, Joyce Goodnow, Joyce Boyce,
Georgia.
oh, Georgia, thank you, Georgia Boyce, and as a liaison, Sandy Harris to the brand new cemetery committee.
Second.
So any questions?
I just find it sad that you only had 5 people that came forward. But it is what it is.
At this juncture, do we ask to dissolve Friends of Vernon Cemeteries?
No, because you're not a town committee.
We are.
Friends of Vernon isn't.
We were appointed to be a committee without any financial powers.
Typically not.
I don't know. If we don't need to dissolve and we can just not meet and just meet as Vernon Cemetery Committee, that's fine.
I think that's,
Okay.
okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Did you do that? Okay. Welcome. Tyler Cemetery fence repairs.
Well, okay, since the Vernon Cemetery Committee has been reinstated, I can give you an update of what Friends has been working on. I don't know, it's kind of complicated. I can just tell you the general state of what we've been working on, and then we can meet, publish our meetings and go about our business still. So here's what Friends have been working on. The fence at Tyler Cemetery, we believe, is under was put in less than a year ago by Monadnock Fence Company, but some of the posts to hold the gates have broken, and some of the locks on the gates are also not functioning. So they'll be taking a look at the fence and getting back to us about repairing that. Whether or not it will be free or not, we've asked them to, instead of installing the same exact things which broke in less than a year, to maybe do an upgrade so it doesn't break. Give us an estimate for that. And then there's a question of whether or not the locks on the gates are legal and lawful. So the Secretary of State has been called. They're researching this. I've talked to a few different cemetery officials, and they don't believe that it's lawful to lock any gates of cemeteries. So once that information is kind of disseminated, then we'll proceed with the proper locks or latches for this Tyler Cemetery fence. Next, Joycey's been researching green burials. Joycey, do you want to tell us what you found?
Paul and Mary Miller approached me, and they're interested in having the green burials. Do you know what that is? Right.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
No
With or without a
chemicals.
casket.
No chemicals.
Yeah.
They can have a pine casket, but it has to be made out of wood that's going to dissolve. So I have checked with Brattleboro, and she has given me their do's and don'ts. And I've checked with, I'm going to check, she told me to check with Guilford because they also have this burial. And Newfane does too. So I'll be checking.
Had quite an issue with it.
Well, that's why we want to get the do's and don'ts of all of them to see what it's going to be, what we have to do it.
Townsend is starting too.
No, Townsend's starting it too.
Yeah.
But Paul and Mary had requested, us to look into it. So I told her, well, I guess we can. And I said, we'll bring it to the select board and to give them the information that we come up with, and that would be their decision. One of the things that we have to do is you have to put a road in, and you cannot, they're the ones that say you can't lock it because people have to go in and out, and it's just, there's so much that we don't know yet.
Cemetery next time you're going waiting for green burial. It's interesting though. Thank you.
So we've also been, we've been focusing on the Tyler Cemetery and fixing the stones. So we have one estimate. There's 10 stones that are completely broken. We're fixing the tilting stones, but there's 10 that need probably professional repair. One estimate was between $500 and $600 a stone, and we'll talk to Abiotti tomorrow about their estimate to see what we can kind of get going. And then Georgia, do you want to give an overview of the first green up day at Tyler Cemetery that we finally had?
First of all, it was not raining, but it was wicked hot out there, let me tell you. So, I know you can't win, but we showed up, we did what we did. David Walker was there, helped us. Between David, Joyce, and myself, we uprighted about 13 stones. There's probably another 13 that still need to be uprighted. Funny story is we're uprighting one, and David looks down, he goes, "Does that say mother?" And one of the stones was in upside down, not only leaning, but upside down. So we fixed that, right side up, and mother is showing. And then couple of us, 4 of us, went down the other day, and foliage, greenage that's climbing all the fence, the ivy and all of that. We took one huge section, we were able to clip that way down. We plan on going back because on the side closest to the Unitas farm, there's a lot more to come down on that. So I thought we accomplished quite a bit for one day there, so.
Don't stop to do that.
While at the Green Up Day, Mary Miller pointed out a tree. If you're facing the Tyler Cemetery, the tree is to the far right and was in the corner by the United Farm. It was gifted to the town of Vernon, and the tree last year, when we were getting estimates, was not pruned, and so Mary noticed that there was quite a bit of dead branches on it. So I've been on a escapade to find out who owns the tree, what the responsibilities of the tree are, and I do have the deed for the cemetery. I made 4 copies if you want to see. It seems like the Unitas do own a piece of the fence on that side, but not the tree. So I'll show you what it is. So I made 4 copies. So here's that section. I think you know what you're talking about there.
When they gifted it to the town, Marjorie reserved that.
I'll show you exactly where it is. It's that, but the tree is here. So the tree is in that corner that they don't seem to own unless anyone has another thought about it after seeing the town documents.
Yeah, it should be in the cemetery deed. It's that when Marjorie gifted the land, she reserved that part for her family. So
It is, yes, but you can see that part that was gifted to her family, it's 0.07 acres, and it's, if you're facing the tree going towards Scott Road, it's on the left. The tree is not part of that triangular or that rectangular area that's part of the Unitas area. And this came from Carol Hammond. She sent it to me just the other day. So what we would like to do potentially is either have the tree pruned, because all the dead branches, and I did take photos, I'm happy to show you pictures of the tree, are over some pretty old stones. So it's not a lovely situation. And we're happy to work with a neighbor and have them sign a disclosure or figure out if they want to be responsible for the tree. And I'm happy to show photos of the tree that I just took this evening.
I think if you want to speak to the Unitas.
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
I did speak to Cynthia,
Okay.
and she said she doesn't recollect anything, so she directed me to cousin Tim. So I called Tim Arsenal. He was in on Monday. He said he was gonna research it. I have not gotten back to him to find out what he found out.
Can't quite see, but this is the
Ask
tree.
Heidi with the old man.
Okay.
This is the tree. Can't quite see.
I figured Tim knew what he was doing in there, so I just handed him the reins.
It's not, you can't see the deadness. I just took the photos. It's kind of dusky.
It does need some
Yeah.
help.
And that's not something you go out with a chainsaw, you use hardwoods.
Yeah.
We do have one estimate for that. $1,200 to $1,500 for serious pruning. To remove it completely is $25. That's the first estimate that we received. Just so you know, that's one of the things we've worked on. And then the Tyler Cemetery sign is in the process of being done. And then now that we have our own committee, we do have a letter from someone looking to have some gravestones just adjusted because they're getting out of whack. But now since we have a cemetery committee and we can start meeting, we can take responsibility for that. I was originally bringing you the letter because you were the cemetery committee. So that's it from us.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Mary Lynn, I received your email. Did anyone ever, was that solved about the reimbursement?
Okay.
I didn't solve that, Sandy.
Yeah, we need to.
Don't worry about it.
It was voted by the cemetery committee during the winter. The tops of the garbage cans.
It always amazes me why stores of any kind order containers and don't order tops that go with containers, and we've been
Yep.
looking for them for like a year.
And she bought them.
And then it was kind of in transition, and Jason happened to be at Runnings and have them, so we got them. But
So I
it
never saw a
was
receipt for
denied,
lids.
so I,
There was no receipt received,
I never saw a receipt for lids.
not for lids, for trash bags.
what?
It was for trash bags, not
Sorry,
lids.
receipt
Do you
for
have the
trash
receipt
bags.
for the lids?
Do I
Is that
have
the
a
one?
receipt? I got it back. I got the receipt back from Kathy.
The one that Kathy had, which I can photocopy of, is for trash bags, not
Trash
lids.
bags.
It's trash bags.
It's trash
It
bags,
says trash bags.
55 gallon. Says right on the receipt.
We've not seen any requests for lids to be paid for.
And I gave her both, because the trash bags out, well, yeah, I got trash bags and I got lids for, and she said it was denied.
We didn't receive anything for lids, just trash bags.
She told me it was denied and gave it back to me.
She said you
Take it out.
requested it.
She
gave
did
it.
it.
Because we always got trash bags from upstairs. So the caretakers needed trash bags, so I went and got them. That's when we were still a committee.
Trash bags were after you dissolved the committee. That was weeks after you dissolved the committee that the purchase was made. But we didn't get anything for the lids. So if you
No.
have that.
He's got the trash bags.
Are the lids out? Because I was at the cemeteries
No.
today. Okay, the lids are. Can you return them? Is that an option?
Returning the lids, where?
I don't know.
Runnings.
I have the receipt and the lids. So there's trash cans with no lids.
Why would, I don't understand why Kathy would reject it, why she wouldn't pass it to the board. Why would Kathy reject the bill that was submitted,
Because
why
it
it
was
didn't go before
unauthorized.
the board?
I don't know.
Am I missing something?
Yes, town policy.
That Kathy can reject bills?
It was unauthorized. There was no cemetery committee when it was purchased.
Oh, okay, now I got it, all right,
Yes,
I'm on the same page
it was
now,
after it
thank
was
you.
all dissolved.
Okay, thank you, I'm on the same page now, sorry.
Well, that's not what she said. She didn't know why. It was kind of like at the same time.
Because it went to the board.
In light of this conversation, may I ask another question? So, if items are stored in the Tyler Cemetery shed, will we have access to a key for that, or keys?
Caretaker has the key, that's his shed,
Caretaker. Okay, caretaker has that. Okay,
that's his shed.
What
okay.
do you mean that's his shed?
It's his shed to use for caretaking for the cemeteries.
But did he put it there?
No, it's not
No,
shed.
but
His stuff's in it. It's a town.
towns, but
Town should have a copy of the key.
as
we
far as
can
I know,
have-
there's only one key, and he has
Okay,
that.
one Okay. And are there any other keys that the cemetery committee should be aware of in case we need access to any gates? No, so the town clerk has all the keys to North Cemetery and Tyler?
Just north, just here, north.
I think so, I might have one, I think I have the ones to the gates, which should all be open.
Okay. We'll try to locate any keys.
Okay, that would be great. Heidi would like that because I did check in with her and she was organizing her keys and she didn't seem to have those.
There's a lot of keys in that place. All right, let's see, put that one on. Okay,
I know they had ones, because I gave them that to them.
They should get it up and turn to the town.
Linda, you are up.
And Shelley and I talked, she had been filed for and then it goes back to
Okay. Contractual, right?
excuse me?
Contractual. Sir, we need an executive session for contractual.
Madam Chair, I move that we enter executive session to discuss the town's contract with Linda Shippey, Vernon Creamy. Under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A of all Vermont statutes.
And with Linda and
And with,
Shelley.
include Linda in the town administrator.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying
Aye.
aye. Passes, we are in executive session at 7:20. Okay, we went into executive session at 7:20, came out at 7:36, no action was taken. Town admin report.
Okay, our auditor with RHR called this morning. He's looking for one small piece of information. We'll have a draft copy next week. Finally, so that was 6 hours. The town clerk will be attending the fall conference September 15th and 16th at Sugar Bush Resort and has booked a room for one night. It's 2 days of solid training. Town hall will be closed Thursday, July 3rd in observance of the holiday.
Thank you very much. We need to go into executive session. Review anything. First without Shelley, and then we'll go in.
Madam Chair, I move we enter executive session for the appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee, with just the board, with, the town administrator will be added.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're in executive session at 7:38. We went to an executive session at 7:38, came out at 8 o'clock, no action was taken. Our next select board regular meeting is July 15th. Have a great 4th, everybody. Stay safe. I'll take a motion to adjourn. There a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are out of here at 8:01.